Hello and welcome to Pictorial Planet. Today I'm going to be looking at a thing we call liquid sunshine. It's potassium ferricyanide bleach, or farmer's reducer. We use it in the darkroom to improve prints and sometimes negatives too. I have a couple of prints that I feel are muddy. They're low in contrast. They don't have a sparkle to them. And today I'm going to use farmer's reducer to improve those prints. Let's have a look how. Okay, so this is how we're going to use our reducer today. Let's first of all talk about how we make it up. So this is the actual reducer now in the dish. And I've made this reducer up by using 250 millilitres of water. And on top of that, I added 125 millilitres of a 10% sodium thiosulfate solution, a Hypo solution. So 125 millilitres of this. And I added to that 12 millilitres of potassium ferricyanide solution, 10% as well. They're both 10%. And remember, to make a 10% solution, we have 10 grams of the chemical and we make it up to 100 millilitres with water. So, recap, 250 millilitres of water, 125 millilitres of Hypo 10%, and 12 millilitres of ferricyanide 10%. And it makes this lovely yellow, it's a bright yellow solution. And that's the colour you want to be looking for. Now this solution acts very quickly and it only lasts for about 10 minutes. So we haven't got long to use this, and then we have to discard it and start all over again and make a new solution. So here we have a print that I've had in the wash water now for a little while, soaking. It's a fibre-based print of some snowdrops. And those snowdrops could do with being a little bit whiter. They're not white enough for me. So I'm going to pop them into this for about 10 seconds. And then we'll wash them and then we'll have a look how they are. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. Pop them in the water and wash them. Now it does act quickly. You've got to be quick and you've got to take your print out before you think it's ready. And that is already looking much better. I think they're done. I don't think there's any more I need to do with that. You can see how much brighter they are. Very nice. Very nice. Now, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to put them back in and over bleach them, and we'll see how that looks. So now you can see they're nicely white. There's still the slightest detail in them, but now I'm going to over bleach them. So let's give them another 10 seconds. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. You can see it's starting to go grey. The whole print is beginning to go grey. And there, I hope you can see that on the video. It's lost its contrast. It's all becoming just a grey, very low contrast print. The white is burned out. There's no detail at all left in those flowers. So that's what it looks like if you've gone too far. So as you can see, that was only 20 seconds total in the bleach. So it does bleach very quickly. And you do need to get your print out before you think it's ready. It's always easy to pop it back in for a couple more seconds. But once you've reached over bleaching, you can't get your image back. Now there's another way we can use liquid sunshine as well, and that's for local bleaching. And so I have a print here where I have a beautiful sky and this sea in front of this boat, and I want to lighten the sea up a little bit just to start to balance it against that sky and maybe give some sparkle to the light that's hitting these wet pebbles at the front here. So in order to do that, I'm going to use a local bleaching system. I have a tray here that I've turned upside down. I've put a couple of things underneath this side so that it slopes down. I'm going to place the print onto that tray. This has been soaking in water for a while now, and I'm going to be able to run water down that. And this is very important that I'm able to do this, because as I bleach this print, I'm going to wash the bleach off very quickly with this running water, and that will enable me to control how much bleaching I actually do. To make up the actual bleach solution, I'm going to use this little tiny jug here, this little beaker, and I'm going to put about 5 milliliters of this 10% Hypo solution. There we go. Just a little bit in the bottom like that. And into that I'm going to put 6 drops of the Ferricyanide 10% solution. I got this idea from Tim Rudman's book on the printing workshop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't have to be exact. There we are. Yes, his Tim Rudman's printing workshop book is an excellent book. Gives lots of tips like this. So there's my little bit of solution in there, and I'm going to use this to bleach my print. So let's get to it. I'll get the water running, and I'm going to use a cotton swab. And I'm going to wet this cotton swab and rub the bleach over the sea and these pebbles. I've got my water ready. And just rub it like so and wash it straight off. Again, it bleaches very quickly, and you can overdo this. So do it in stages. It's better to do it in little bits than in one big bit. So it's starting to look better. Now for the next stage, I'm going to dry the print front like this. Just dab it dry. The bleach works better if the print is dried on the front. This is another fibre-based print. There. And here we go again. And my water ready. It's lightening up nicely. There. Rub it there nicely across that. Give it a second and then wash it straight off. I think I've seen Tim Rudman do this on a video as well somewhere on YouTube. He makes the most beautiful prints. And that's beginning to look much better. It's balancing much better now. I'm going to give it one more shot. Being very careful, I don't want to overdo this. Plenty down here for these pebbles. I'd love that to glimmer a little bit more. Now, with this Farmer's Reducer formula that I've told you here, it reduces the highlights before it reduces the darker tones of the print. So the highlights are affected first, which is lovely to bring a zing into your print, to really add sparkle. These pebbles now are sparkling. It's beautiful. Lovely. So you see how I can, by using a cotton wool swab like I'm using there, I can actually just bleach the areas of the print that I want to bleach. I think that's ready. And the good thing is I can wash this, let it dry, take a look at it, and if I haven't done it enough, I can redo it. I can come back and do it again. You can do this as many times as you want. So better to err on the side of safety and underdo it than to overdo it. But that is now looking a much better print. The eye is being led in much better by this brighter water towards that boat. Lovely. I'm very pleased with that. Now this one is another one, and it's a bit flat actually. I should have really printed that darker, but I wanted to demonstrate to you how to use the same technique with a paintbrush. We don't even need to use the cotton swab. And I have a paintbrush here that I use all the time for this particular use, so I keep it specifically for the ferricyanide bleach. And I'm going to paint the sheep. I'm just going to add a little more brightness so they pop a little bit more from that water, from that field. So let me just dry it like this, dab it, dry. I'm going to give it a little bit of painting here with my paintbrush. Now I'll have to be quick with this because they will look wrong if they're too bright. So just wash it off. Give it a good run under that water. And they're starting to look a bit better. It looks like the sunshine is hitting them now. I'm going to dab them again. This technique has been used forever on prints in darkrooms, for portrait work. It used to be used to remove marks, dark marks on prints. Liquid sunshine. Gotta watch out I don't let these ones I did down here overdo while I'm painting the top ones. They're starting to really look nice. That's lovely. They're definitely better. Now, let me just do a couple of those at the back. As you dry the print, you get a better idea of whether or not you've done it enough. It's painting with sunshine. Maybe just a little bit on this tree, just to lighten it up. Here's another tip. Keep your highlights at the top of the picture, because if any of the Farmer's Reducer runs, if it's running over a darker area, it's not noticeable. But if it runs over a light area, if this print was upside down and it ran down the sky, you'd get streaks. And that's it, ruined. You can't really recover from that. So keep the sky high and the ground below when you're doing this. That is actually looking much better. I didn't like this print very much, but it's actually starting to look quite good. One more time. Let's give it one more. This is the danger. It's so enjoyable doing this and watching them brighten up that you tend to overdo it. And I think a couple of these are finished, so I don't want to do these ones here. But these two, I think, could do with a little bit more. Just dry the water off, and that will help see its effect and stop it running. A little bit there. This one here. Now, again, this only lasts for about 10 minutes once you've made up this Farmer's Reducer bleach. So, after that time, look at that. That is great. It will start to turn a greenish tinge, and when you see that green tinge, it's done. Chuck it away, make a new batch. I'm really pleased with this. I think the tree needs a little bit of sunshine on the tree, please. Make sure there's not too much on the brush. It affects the highlights more than the shadows. There we are. Lovely. Well, there you have it, liquid sunshine. How to improve the contrast of your photographs with Farmer's Reducer. Now typically, if you're going to use this technique regularly, and you can, it can really make a good job of your photographs and make them stand out. If you're going to do this a lot, print your photograph a little darker than you normally would, and maybe half a grade less contrast than you normally would. And that will give you the kind of results which I think will make your pictures stand out. So now you can see how those sheep are really popping in that field. From a flat photograph, it's now looking much better. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of video, if you want to learn more about working in the darkroom and the things you can do in there, including tips every Friday, why don't you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on Friday.